Hello, welcome to Chunky Chick Handmade. My name is Brittany, and today we are just going to be looking at 4 different types of loop yarns. And basically, all that it is yarn that is made up to where you've got these little loops formed to where that's how you will knit with it. That is made like that so you can knit without having to use knitting needles. And I'll show you an example just real quick. Oops. So this is the yarn in the back. This is your loops in the front. You take the yarn for this kind of stitching. You take the yarn from the back, push it through the hole to the front. And that is it. Literally just go boop and boop. It is so easy. I really do enjoy this yarn. I've already made one thing, a small little baby blanket for my nephew, and it's so soft and my sister loves it. Anyways, moving on. From what I can tell, this is the yarn that might have started it all. Don't quote me on that, but I saw this first and I thought, oh my gosh, this is so cool, I've got to try it. I'm not even sure exactly when it launched or anything. I just saw it on Facebook and I'm like, oh, I have to try it. And it's only sold at Joann Fabric. So, and it's a little spendy. Whoops. But this is called the Bernat Alize Blanket Easy. And this is a category 7 jumbo yarn, and it is 18 yards. It's it. From what I can tell, roughly for me, for my store, the original price is roughly $11.99. Don't quote me on that, but it is on sale. They tend to have sales on this usually. So this is the one that I saw. They also have this Big Twists Loopity loops yarn. This one is only sold at Joann Fabric as well. This one is that the category? It's 18.2, so roughly the same. It doesn't have the category from what I can tell of the yarn, but it's the same thickness basically. It is pretty thick, and this one's soft. I used this yarn for making the baby blanket. Okay, and the next one, and so I was like, oh cool, I wanted to make a video about this just to give it a look. And then I found out Red Heart came out with their own Loopit yarn. So these, keep in mind, are, like I said, about 18 yards. This one is only, where is it? I need to be better. It is only 7.6 yards, so you don't get as much, and it is a category 7 yarn. This originally, from what I can tell, is about $7.99. No, $6.99. Don't quote me on that. I will for sure look it up and I'll put it in the video how much it costs. But you don't get as much, but it is like about half the price. But you do need at least 2 to 3 of these just to make projects. So you're spending roughly the same amount, or be 2, 3, 4, depends on the project. So you do need roughly the same amount of yarn from this, unless if you're just doing a scarf or something, as you do for this one. And then same thing, and this is only sold at Michael's, so you know. This same thing is loops and thread, is only sold at Michael's. It's a I don't know how to pronounce that, please excuse me. Loops buccal something. This one is a category 6. It is not as thick as the other ones. That's not a bad thing, I guess. This one is 16.4 yards. This one is about the same price as the Red Heart Loopit. Yeah, that baby blanket, which is what I'm working on over there, that baby blanket requires 2 of these guys, and it's not going to make that big of a blanket. And if you want like a full-size blanket, you need like 4 or more skeins of yarn. Anyway, so this one is the smallest of the bunch. So this one is 16.4, sorry. This one is 7.6 yards. But these are roughly the same size. And these two are about the same price. There are right now kind of limited amount of patterns for it because it's new and it just came out, but you could do just about anything with these yarns as you can do regular yarns. This one is a knit and purl, as if I'm just using my needles and knitting every row, excuse me, but I just burped. But it seems to be kind of stretchy. I kind of like that. But I don't know where I was going with the thought. Anyways, and then this is a just as if I'm doing knit run 1 row, purl 1 row, but when I'm doing this, the yarn is just in the back every time. I don't have to fling the yarn or bring the yarn, excuse me, around the front. I just take it to the back and I go back and forth. This one, I have to bring the yarn, I can't speak, to the front and then do the same thing, just pulling it through. I mean, it's not obnoxious. It's just, you know, the knit one, or the knit every row, similar, you know, as if you were knitting it with needles. I don't even know if you can see that. Anyways, I've seen videos of people that have it rounded, like as if it's a hat, and I'm not sure how to do that. I haven't gotten that far. You could do increasing stitches and decreasing stitches, and you can also do cable stitching on it, and I highly doubt, because it's kind of difficult to see. Oh, and I haven't gotten very far. You could do this one. I'm trying to make a pillow for my sister because she just loves the yarn and she wants like a memory keepsake of the yarn that or the blanket that I made for her son. But it's like a crisscross pattern. But yeah, I don't know. This is just a sit down and kind of look over these types of yarn. I would definitely suggest someone who's like wanting to get into knitting, or even kids that want to get into knitting but they just can't be fiddling with the needles and they can't hold it right and they don't feel comfortable. These are definitely for sure amazing for people that would love to craft and they just can't figure it out. Downside is it's kind of expensive, especially the ones from Joann Fabrics. So, and you do, you know, need 2 to 3 skeins or balls of these, but besides that, these are great. I am looking forward to making more projects. This one I'm trying to make a baby blanket, and according to this, it says it only needs 2 balls, and it's not going to make a very big one, but it's like, I'm kind of doubting it. I have something I'm trying with this one, just an experiment with this yarn. This one I plan on just making a scarf. I only bought one, and I'm like, I just wanted to, you know, do a quick review or a quick just look over of the yarns. I'm not really gonna give them a rating system. Would I recommend these? Highly recommend these for people. I'm not being paid to say this. It's just from my own experience. I bought all these yarns. It was expensive, but this is not a how-to. I just did a quick demonstration. There are how-to videos on YouTube and on the Red Heart website. They've got really good tutorials. I learned how to do the knit one and purl one. They have some on the Bernat website that has how-tos, and then they also have different projects. Another thing I am having a difficult time with is trying to find patterns for these guys, because these are the off-brand and it's kind of difficult trying to find the patterns. But if you just find the patterns for the Loopit or the Bernat Alize blanket easy, that's a bit of a mouthful. Anyways, if you find the patterns on there, you should be able to make very similar things. I don't know where or how I was going to end this video or where it's going to or anything like that, but this was just a quick look at all the 4 that I know of that's out. I don't know if there's any more. It would be great if there were different brands who came out with this yarn, because it is really cool. I'd love to see more of it. They have really cool, like really great, what's the words? Color choice. They have some pretty decent color choice. These are just the ones that I have. In the description of the video, I will post to the different websites of where I bought these, and so you can see for yourself the different colors that they have. And I guess that's where I'm gonna end this video. Thank you for watching. I do hope you take care. Thanks for watching my video. Bye! Okay, after I shot the video, I realized there was something I wanted to talk about that I'd seen in another video, is that you know exactly how wide your project is. How do I word this? Basically, you know how many stitches you're going to need for your project, because it's not that stretchy. It won't really increase or decrease too much. This one did, probably for the type of yarn. This one really didn't. So if you wanted something really wide, all you do is you just measure out how long you want it, and then you go from there. You don't have to really worry about sizing after that. Something else is, most of the time the yarn, because this is the only yarn that I've used to make the knit and purl like that. This one, it's not that stretchy either way. Sort of that way, but not really. And so you just know exactly how wide you want it and how many loops you're gonna need, and you just go from there. There's no gauging, there's no guessing. I mean, there's a little bit. If you just really don't know, then you just guess, okay, well, I want that long and how many stitches is that. That's neither here nor there. But it's, besides this one that seems to be stretchy this way, it's not stretchy this way. See, it doesn't. So I knew I wanted a scarf roughly that wide, and so I knew how many stitches or how long I wanted it, and then I went, oh, okay, that's how many stitches. There's 10 if you wanted to know. Anyways, that was just a quick tidbit I wanted to add to the end of the video, is that it's so easy to know how many stitches you're going to need depending on how wide, and you don't have to guess and gauge too much. And then I don't know if you really wanted to see, to bind this off is super easy too. I just thought of that after I ended it. So let's say that I'm binding this off. I would knit the first stitch on my row, knit the second stitch on the row. It's very similar to regular knitting. And then you would take the first stitch, put it behind, and put it over the next stitch, and there you go. Then you knit. I guess this sort of turned into a how-to. It's just a quick to show you that it's just like knitting, binding off, super easy to do, or probably a little bit easier with knitting. But anyway, than regular knitting. Those are the words I'm looking for. Anyways. So that's just the little tidbit I wanted to add to the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Bye. Take care.